What do I know?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we are once again.
A fabulous show for you
Family
all.
show. We're on a road that might have some issues with connectivity until we get onto the highway. So we apologize. But we would ask that quick sound check for anybody watching. Let us know, because we're trying to use the microphones we used to use. And it looks like we have levels. I
Yes,
think
we do have levels. We should be fine.
So today we're doing the same show we did last week.
With the twist.
Now, Raffi's here.
We're in person.
Yeah, but we're going to do the same drive I did, and we're going to head up to Bremerton. Now, Raffi doesn't drink coffee.
No.
So we're not sure what.
I'll have a tea.
I don't think they have tea at Dutch Brothers Coffee.
No?
Maybe.
They're Dutch. They should have tea.
We're a little choppy. I explained that ahead of time. We will be choppy for a few minutes till we get off this road. Our timing was a little off.
But that's okay. We are here. And we have some exciting news. Those of you that might have not seen last week, we are in a new vehicle. And we had the big reveal last week. This is the BMW all electric. And it's the BMW 4. i4.
Yes. Because the 4 is a regular car.
That's true.
There's a regular 4 Series. You get a 2-door or a 4-door.
And
or convertible too, I think.
And what does the I stand for?
I don't know. It's what they call all their electrics. They're all like they had the i8s and the i3.
If I owned it, would it be a me 4?
Yes.
And then if you bought it from me, it'd be a you 4.
Yes. Yes.
So only the i4 to the first buyer.
Actually, the i8 was not an electric vehicle; it was a hybrid.
That's true, and I actually like the i8.
Oh, the i8's wonderful.
I would get one of those.
They've never gone down in price.
Yeah, I guess they are kind of expensive, but they are a great looking car and very unique design.
You can't be very unique.
You can't?
No.
You have to be unique?
Yes. All right, they do have tea and lemonade.
Oh, good.
So, yes. Ray Pepper is like, we'll figure something out, because I told him we're coming. And he's like, complimentary coffee for you and Raffi, because Raffi doesn't drink coffee.
You know why I don't drink coffie?
Because you don't like it.
No, because it rhymes with my name. I don't eat anything that
really
rhymes with my name.
Raffi coffee.
It's a rule. I don't.
So you don't have toffee either?
No toffee.
No toffee, no coffee.
No toffee, no coffee. Wow. Exactly.
And it's raining.
See, think about it. Do you eat any foods that rhyme with your name? You don't eat ham.
I do eat ham. But ham and Dan do not rhyme.
Sort of.
Damn. I don't eat damn.
Damn ham.
Damn ham.
All right, now we got to give the head jolting acceleration.
Well, okay, let me put it in sport mode.
Okay, we're going sport mode.
You ready?
Yep. Jeez. Wow.
And with the rain, it's like I just hit 88 miles an hour.
Jesus. Holy cow, that thing is fast.
I know.
Oh, my goodness.
This feels stronger than the Polestar for sure.
It has more pull.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's got like a steeper acceleration curve.
I don't know what that means, but thank you. Toffee, Raffi. So Raffi couldn't get a toffee frappuccino coffee.
No toffee coffee for Raffi.
Wow.
That's why I have pizza. Pizza doesn't rhyme with my name.
So here's what I want to say about this car. So I've had it for a week now.
All right.
So last week I got it on Friday. Saturday we did the show.
Yep.
You weren't feeling well, so I did it alone.
Yep.
And then Monday I left for work, and I drove the Polestar to the dealership.
That's right.
And dropped it off. Mm-hmm. They couldn't have been nicer.
Really?
I mean, the nicest people. Polestars are fantastic. I don't have anything begrudgingly to say about Polestar.
Okay.
However, I think this might be my favorite daily driver I've ever owned.
This car. I have to say, I'm very impressed with it. And you know, it's not just because we work together, we're friends, we spend a lot of time together, and you'd think that I just sort of assimilate your interests and all. But we do have similar car interests. But I have to say, I'm very impressed with this car. Independent of the fact that it's your car, it's a very, very impressive vehicle. And what I like is your promise to keep it clean.
And look,
I'm very impressed.
One week
It
in.
is clean.
And I mean, yes, I have a vitamin water sitting here, but I did not. I opened it. I drank it outside the mini mart. And then I closed it and put it back in.
Look at you being very careful with your new car.
And I did rejoin the. I changed this car over to my Brown Bear Car Wash membership.
Okay.
It did run through yesterday,
and it did okay.
It did okay. And now what's great is the membership is no longer. You don't have a sticker. Look, there's no sticker anymore. There's no RFID reader thing.
Okay.
Now it reads your license plate. Problem is I don't have one yet.
I was going to say
but I have the temporary one in the back window.
Okay.
They put that number in.
Yeah.
I drove up. It recognized it.
There you go.
We live in the future.
This is the future. If you think about what we're doing at this very moment, 20 years ago, it was unheard of.
Yeah.
To do a streaming broadcast to, what do we have? Millions of people now watching and listening.
Minus millions.
Millions. In a car.
With negative viewership.
With an electric car.
Right.
A fully electric, and a fully electric car that isn't weird, quirky, or we have to stop and charge it every 20 minutes because we just went 10 miles.
Yes. This car is, for all intents and purposes, a BMW 4 Series.
Yeah.
It is. There's nothing other than it's all electric.
Right.
And I've always said the reason the Prius did so well, the other hybrids came out. The Prius did well because it was its own name.
Yes.
It wasn't the Echo hybrid, which is really what it was, I think. Oh, shit.
What was that?
A rock just hit my windshield. Can you fucking believe it?
Where?
Excuse my French. I heard it. I saw it.
Are you sure it wasn't just...
No. I saw it come off that truck and hit right over there, and I'm probably going to end up with something at some point. Excuse my French.
I don't see a mark, though.
You never see them. It just all of a sudden shows up.
We'll get out and we'll take a closer look at it later. That was a smack.
I know.
I thought it might have been one of those heavy water drops that came down.
No. I saw it come. I saw it. Meanwhile, I'm telling the guy in the F&I office before I get back to my Prius story.
The F&I office?
Yeah, well, I was in the F&I office. The finance guy. You know what F&I is, right?
I do, but when you say it, it sounds like
F&I.
The F&I office.
Oh, because it's an I-4.
It's an I-4.
Yeah.
I thought, well, maybe there's an I
was in the business office.
There you go.
And the guy's trying to sell us windshield protection. I'm like, I have it on my insurance. He's like, no. They'll raise your rates. I go, that's not true.
Yeah.
They don't raise your rates for a windshield claim.
Yeah, especially if you have the windshield protection.
Well, look, it comes with your insurance. Almost everybody, all you're paying for is if you want zero deductible or not. It has to be covered. It's a safety issue.
Yes.
And insurance companies are all tied in. By the way, both gas stations are now 76.
I know, that's weird. Why
did they
switched. Change over?
I don't know. Long story. So the guy's trying to sell it to us, and they wanted like $1,000
for windshield protection.
For windshield protection. I'm like, I've got zero deductible on my insurance. Oh no, they'll do aftermarket. I'm like, on a brand new car, they can't.
They can't. There's no aftermarket.
Because there's no aftermarket yet.
It has to all be the market.
So if it breaks quickly, my wife's her car happened, and it was $1,200. We paid zero
for the windshield.
Yeah, paid zero, and they used
these new windshields have all kinds of cameras and sensors and things like that. A friend of mine with a pretty high-end Mercedes got rock damage on the windshield. They had to replace the windshield. Cost $6,000 because they had to recalibrate the entire car. Laser.
The Polestar was $1,800.
Yeah, that's not cheap.
And they didn't have they had to get the windshield from Polestar. There was zero aftermarket at the time, and the insurance company initially was denying the claim because they're like, no, we're not paying that much money. And Polestar reached back out to them and said, this is it. We're the only ones. And there's none in stock right now. They're all in China. but they couldn't be imported from China. They had to go to
Big
Sweden
bump.
first. I know. Woo! They had to go to Sweden first.
Ah, so you got Swedish glass replacement.
Yes, and a massage.
And
And meatballs. So going back to my theory.
uh-oh, there's a theory.
So the Prius was popular as a hybrid because it was its own car.
Yeah.
And
the first Prius, you have to agree.
Ugly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it was ugly intentionally because they had to make it look unique enough for people to recognize that that's not just a Camry with a hybrid drive.
And that's my point. Is like they did hybrid Camrys, they did hybrid Corollas, they did hybrid Accords.
Yeah.
None of them sold like the Prius.
Yeah.
Because the Prius was its own thing.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's part of the reason I think why Volvo spun off Polestar to be only electric brand. Because you can't, I mean, first, ironically, the Prius or the Polestar 1 was a hybrid. It was not an electric.
Oh.
The coupe.
Oh, that's right. I don't even remember seeing that car.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. They only made 1,500 of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with this car, it's almost the opposite because they had the i3, which was ugly. It's a weird boxy thing. We rented a few of them when we were doing the radio show in Seattle.
Yes.
We would jump in one of those through Reach Now.
Very, very quirky.
Yeah.
And Reach Now is gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. All this car shares.
They reached too far.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It should be called Reach Around.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I'm working on material.
Oh, boy. So we'll plug the comedy show later for Tuesday night. So I think that offering a full electric version of the same car you can buy as a gas might be a smart way to go.
Well, now, absolutely, because electric cars they're no longer a weird thing in the market. To some extent, I think Tesla normalized electric cars.
Yeah.
And I also think that with Tesla's popularity and everyone else getting in the market with electric cars, it's removed a great deal of the stigma associated with them that hadn't been around for quite some time. You could buy an electric car in the 70s and 80s. They were available.
Yeah.
But they were, they had 30-mile range, 40-mile range, and they were using stacked lead acid batteries, which has a fair amount of problems associated with them. And they were largely commuter cars, so one person would be comfortable, two people in it would be friendly. But you couldn't have the vehicle be too large because they presented problems. Now, you go back 120 years, and the electric car was actually quite common. At one point, there were more electric cars than there were gas-powered cars. And the only reason why the electric car didn't continue to be pervasive is because fuels had become available in even rural locations to help with powering the farm implements that were being developed, early tractors and things like that, to build the agricultural infrastructure in the United States at the turn of the century. So mechanized agriculture is what built the gas-powered vehicle that we know today. Now, we've got some comments here. Let's see what...
Well, Dan was just saying if the thing is small enough, they can just fill it in if it doesn't crack.
That's
I don't
true.
see a mark yet.
I mean, we've got some raindrops, but I don't see anything. Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's super hard glass because that was a hard hit. That might be it right there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
What other comments do we got?
Not much. Ray's talking about some buying Tesla on the dip.
Oh, well. Listen, we could talk politics. We could talk about this.
Tesla should not be political. That's what sucks.
Yes, it shouldn't be. But it's become that. There was a Tesla set on fire in front of Capitol Hill in Seattle. I think it was a couple days ago. And
yeah, can I make an announcement?
Please.
If you want to destroy a Tesla, don't do a private owner's car.
Yeah.
They bought it beforehand They know nothing. I mean, they know. Some people can't. Like, I know 2 people personally that have walked away from their lease, wrote the check, and just walked away. One got a Polestar, and one is, I believe, getting the Jeep Wagoneer S. And they can afford to do that. A lot of people who got into those $299 specialty leases,
Yes.
you can't afford just to write a check and walk away 2 years early.
Yeah.
And they're stuck with the car.
Yeah.
Unless they light their light it on fire themselves,
then
they have an insurance claim.
There you go.
I wouldn't recommend that though.
No.
But I mean, people destroying. I mean, the dealerships are corporate owned.
Yes.
They're not like a local guy, like Bob Smith Tesla. They're all local. They're all corporate owned.
Right.
The cars are individual. Like, there's a Tesla right there.
Yeah.
If I went up and like started beating on that car, I mean, the poor person that owns it. Why? Not that they're poor. I mean, you know what I mean.
No,
they're gonna come out screaming, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I'd be arrested, as I should be.
Right.
So stop beating on cars, just for the respect of cars. However, that being said, don't buy a Tesla. You can buy a used one. Who cares?
Well, now apparently, our president is proposing that anybody who vandalizes a Tesla should be considered a terrorist.
Right. Right. If you can't even boycott. He's saying boycotting Tesla is illegal. I mean, for lack of a better word, the man's a moron.
Well. What I'm wondering is, has he read our Constitution?
No, he doesn't read.
Okay. Well, now we've gone political, and we really should.
Right, let's back up.
Okay.
So Tesla's still my Uber the other day when I was in Atlanta was a Tesla Y.
Oh,
why? I have to say, I mean, it's comfortable. The technology's amazing.
Yeah.
This is nice, but it's nowhere near as good as Tesla. All the software we have in here.
Yeah.
Tesla is just better.
The finishes, the textures, everything here.
Well, this is where BMW beats, because it's still a BMW.
Well, and look, BMW, like so many other manufacturers, they have decades of intellectual property that explains how to make material intersections like this section here. This is one of the most difficult. You can't see where I'm gesturing, but the area on the interior of the car where the roof line comes down,
the A pillar
forms the A pillar,
yes,
and meets the dashboard and meets the door corner. That is one of the most complex areas to figure out a smooth transition for these areas, and it's extremely complicated, not just from a materials context, but it holds a lot of detail and mechanical features. You've got air ducting, you've got sound speaker, you've got the rear view mirror, you've got the door mechanism. All of that stuff has to fit in there, and it has to be a safe, structurally rigid portion of the vehicle. And so it takes a tremendous amount of effort to design that properly. If you look at a Tesla in that area, you'll see there's some compromises that have been made. But in a BMW and a Porsche does a brilliant job. Honda does an amazing job with the Acura line. Some amazing designs.
So I just noticed this has technology that I didn't realize it had. The personal assistant just notified me that I can just say things like "open the passenger's window," and it'll do it.
Really?
You want me to test it?
Sure.
By the way, I told you what I named it. What I have to say. My keyword.
What is the keyword?
Tippy toe. Open the front passenger's window.
Oh. There you go.
Oh, it's not available.
Oh, it's currently not available.
Probably because I'm using this.
Maybe that's
the Bluetooth or something that's hooked up. I don't know.
Well, you have to be. I wonder if in the manual they tell you before you accelerate this car, make sure there's nothing directly in front of you. You know, the 427 Cobra had that warning in the manual for the 427 Cobra. It said, make sure before accelerating this vehicle there are no objects in front of you.
So Jake makes a point, buying a used Tesla will put money in Hitler's pocket for service. Most people, when they're out of warranty, there's so many independent shops now that are doing the work.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of work that ever needs to be done.
Right.
You need brakes, you don't have to go to Tesla.
Yeah.
If it's battery issue, it's under warranty for, I think, 150,000 miles in 10 years now. So you do have a point, Jake. But come on, Willis, what you talking about?
Geez, and we're going 80 now.
I know, this car is so smooth and quiet.
It is. It's quiet. It's smooth. There's no way you would imagine that you're going like 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And what you have to remember is old American cars could go 75 miles an hour on the highway. No problem. 30, 40, even 50 years ago. But you get 12 miles to the gallon.
Right. I'm getting 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour.
Which I don't even know what that translates.
I think three is pretty good.
It said on your window sticker 94 miles per gallon.
Yeah, that's the equivalent. that's how they, based on the price of gas, the price of electricity, converted into miles. Covered. It's EMPG.
Wow.
So yeah, so basically it's the equivalent of getting 94 miles per gallon.
That's insane.
Yeah. Now with this car, I get free Electrify America for 2 years.
Oh.
Now with the Polestar, it was free, unlimited for 2 years, 30 minutes per session.
Okay.
And you can do multiples per day. You're just going to do them back to back. And 30 minutes is more than enough to get you back on the road.
Yeah.
This one is for 2025 model year, 1,000 kilowatt hours total.
Does this close manually?
No.
Oh.
Why would you like me to?
Yeah, the sun's a little bright. Oh, that's much better.
Yeah.
And you know what? A little bit quieter too.
Yeah, look at that.
Good grief.
88 miles an hour. I'm just keeping up with traffic, folks. I mean,
that's all you're doing. Officer, we're just keeping up with the flow of traffic.
You're the only car on the road. Exactly. I am the flow of traffic. That was one of our traffic school jokes. Anyway, so it's just a fun car. Like yeah. I look forward to getting in my car and going somewhere.
That's usually the sign when you're just getting into drive for the fun of it. That usually means you've got a vehicle you enjoy, and driving should be fun. Why not?
And I did a 12,000 mile lease instead of a 10.
Oh,
so I have more miles.
You have more miles to enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who don't know the area so well, we are now passing Keyport.
Yeah.
Here, the Submarine Museum.
Oh, the museum.
Yes. If you've never been to the Submarine Museum, I highly recommend it. It's a small museum. But
it's a submarine. They're very small.
Yeah. But very interesting displays there, including a manual for submariners with a section that outlines protocol for when they return home after being deployed in a nuclear submarine for 6 months underwater.
Wow.
And one of the things they recommend is that...
Gotta get that coffee at Dutch Brothers, yes.
When you return home, be mindful of your voice, because you've spent 6 months yelling at each other inside a submarine and both barking out and receiving commands. And they remind you rather tactfully in the manual that your spouse may not be appreciative of this level of communication.
Very true.
Be sure to ease in, lower your voice, approach her with more favorable language, which I thought was hilarious.
If you think you're whispering, you're probably speaking loudly. What is Dan saying here? Can you see it?
Let's see. I have to get a little closer.
Go ahead, get a little closer.
If only the engineers moved that bolt over for a bit more access,
we can actually be happier. What
that's
are we talking about? You're like, that's true. What are we talking about?
I don't know what bolt he's particularly talking about, but I will say that
I'm trying to think back to what we were talking about, because we're at a little bit of a delay when the comments come in.
That's true. Um, one of the hardest things to do when you build any appliance, and automobiles are in that category, is to build them for service and repair. I just took apart a dryer, and it clearly was not built to take apart for service and repair. It took me way longer than I thought it should to fix, but uh, the design obviously was improved because I looked at the newer model about 5 to 10 years later, and they completely re-engineered it so the mechanic or the repair technician can just remove the entire back panel. So what was he referencing?
Designing whatever.
Designing whatever. Yes.
Yes.
That's what I thought that he might have been
Gotcha.
referencing.
Yes, I see what you mean now.
But he's absolutely right, because cars being designed to where you can't get to the spark plug at the very back, no matter how much contortion you go through.
Well, in the Pontiac, you've got to take the air conditioning out to the Catalina.
Yeah,
you have to take the air conditioning out to get to the spark plugs.
Yeah, which is ridiculous when you think about how big that car is, too.
Yeah, they could have put that anywhere.
Yeah, Ferraris are notorious for having to remove the engine entirely to change the timing belt. On a V12 Ferrari, it's $15,000 to $20,000 just to change the timing belts, and that's a fair amount of money. Even though they're great cars, you spend quite a bit doing something like that. Boy, even this seat has lumbar support.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
The only thing there's only one negative that I had in my other car that my wife has in her new car, that if I would have got the M50 version of this, which I wouldn't have got the corporate discount, and it would have been a lot more money and a little bit faster, but as the ventilated seats. It's got the heated seats. It doesn't have the cooling seats.
Do you need cooling seats though in this?
Sometimes it's nice to give your undercarriage a little fan.
A little puff.
Yeah, look at these clouds coming in.
Yeah, it's going to be raining soon.
Raymond.
It's
going to be Pepper.
We got something from John here.
John Liebling.
What's John say? Can you read that? I can't read.
I'm driving.
This car self-drives.
No, it doesn't. Do you think that the increasing abandonment of Teslas will spike EV prices?
That's a good question.
No. Because Teslas are going to get cheaper and cheaper, and it's going to get to the point where people will be like, you know what, I'm just going to buy a Tesla because it's so cheap. And then the other companies are going to have to lower theirs.
I also think that, we're at the level now where there's some market saturation. You can get a good used Tesla now for not a lot of money.
Right, but forgetting Tesla. Tesla actually, the car I bought in 2013, I think I mentioned this before.
Yeah.
It was a 60 kilowatt battery.
Yes.
They did not even offer all-wheel drive yet. It had no backup sensors. It had no self-driving capability whatsoever. It had no automatic cruise control even.
It was an expensive Camry.
Yeah,
basically.
And it was $84,000. The exact same car now with 100, which is basically the P100D.
Yes.
Is $74,000.
Wow.
It's $10,000 cheaper, and it's got all the bells and whistles.
Yes.
Because it's technology. How much was a 43-inch TV 20 years ago?
Yeah. Same thing with the cell phone.
Right. Cell phones they're kind of getting more expensive now. The iPhones, they kind of go up at like $50 to $100 each time, it seems. Anyway, but you can get a cheap cell phone. But I think cars are getting to the point where their technology and EVs are going to become cheaper. Now, this sticker is much higher than a regular 4 Series. I could have got a BMW 5 Series pretty loaded, just a regular 540 for less than this car.
Yeah.
But it didn't have a $7,500 federal rebate. And I think they're pricing it with that rebate. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to start to see, I don't think the rebates are going to go away, because apparently there was an internal memo from Tesla, and they basically said, if these $7,500 rebates go away, we're dead.
Oh,
Like they need them to stay. And Trump can't just say, okay, they're only for Teslas. Every other car, after all the American companies are making them. I mean, excuse me, Tesla.
let me just interrupt you right there. Trump can say anything.
I know, that's true.
So the idea that he can't say something is completely off the table.
That's true.
So
Tesla.
Look
at these beautiful, look at computer.
It's got a computer.
It's got computer. No, it's got computer. I love Tesla.
And none of this is made in China, right, Elon? It's all made here.
Yeah, he didn't mention that.
Yeah. Oh, he kills me. Kills me. But I agree with you.
Yes.
I think I don't think that we'll have that.
Here comes the rain.
Yeah.
Ray Pepper says, as we're going to a red light, on this beautiful Pacific Northwest day, don't forget to visit Affordable Used Cars and Trucks Environment. Free Dutch Brothers Coffee, just for mentioning Radical Ray. Restrictions apply. What are the restrictions?
He can't list them all at once.
Trump talks out of his puckered ass. All right.
There you go.
Adam said something up here earlier.
Okay.
So is an EV battery like a cell phone battery in terms of charging efficiency, where it's better to drain the battery than charge? Yes and no. They say it's better not to charge it to 100% unless you know you're going on a road trip. They say to keep it between 20 and 80 at all times. So you don't want to you can't go all the way down. If you kill it all the way down, basically it's called bricking your car. You can't just plug it in and it charges back up. I think you have to get it towed in. There's stuff they have to reset. It's ugly. So never let your car die from not having charge. That being said, I try to plug mine in every night at home. Just a stage 2 charger, nothing, 40 amp. I can do AC, which is what that is, or I can do the DC chargers with Electrify America. And they say don't charge it, for more than half an hour. There's just a lot. They are actually they look like double.
Array. Yeah. And they basically operate in a similar way. But they have, so in a brand new battery, it fully charges up to 99.9999 capacity. And then when it depletes down, the next time it's charged up, it cycles up to 99.9998 capacity. And each time it goes through cycles, it diminishes to where you can no longer get into the 99 range. And over long periods of time, you'll get into the 97, 96% of full charge range. So your ability to have extended battery life from when it was new is diminished over time. And what they've improved over time is that cycle diminishing series so that the batteries have longer life.
Black Cybertruck.
Oh, yeah.
Green. Sorry.
Green. Wow.
Change color.
So, but there's new battery technology that's being developed that will far surpass what we have today. And I think we'll see some of that probably within our lifetime in electric vehicles.
Well, there's the solid state batteries that apparently Toyota's touting that they have come up with.
Right.
That are super fast to charge.
Yep.
And have like a 600 to 700 mile range. That's the game changer right there. When you can charge quickly as you can get gas. By the way, do you remember the BS that Elon did, going back to Elon? Jesus Christ. That Elon did about the bottom where you could just pull the battery out and swap out the battery, and he was showing how it took 90 seconds to fill a tank of an Audi A6.
Yes.
And he was able to change the battery twice in the same amount of time. Where'd that never happened?
So it did. It actually did happen. It happened with an Israeli company.
Well, no, I remember that.
Yeah, they developed.
But Tesla didn't do it.
No.
Right. Tesla never came out with that. Was supposed to be you pull up to a Tesla station,
right,
and you swap out your battery.
Right.
And so that was 10 years ago. He was saying that was going to be a thing.
I mean, the model already exists with propane tanks.
Of course.
You go with the propane tank in. Here's my empty. Here's a full one. Off you go. You don't have to sit around and wait for them to charge or fill the tank. But the next leap in battery technology it's going to be a sustainable battery pack, and the pack will either have regenerative uh, possibilities on its own.
Sheriff.
Yeah, he's off to do something. Or you'll get a battery pack that will last for a year. And so in this car, if you had a year's worth of battery pack charge, after a year, it would signal to the dealership that it was time for you to have a charge. And then it would locate the nearest dealer charging section. It would go to that place.
Oh, look at this idiot.
Oh, stupid. Get out of the way. Why are people so stupid?
Just you're in the turn lane. Why would you not just turn?
Oh, my goodness. He's going to cause an accident.
Oh, they decided. Well, they're driving with their handicap placard on their. You don't drive with it there. It blocks. Oh, my God. People are morons.
Anyway, so after a year, your battery would be replaced rather than charged.
Like a 12-volt battery.
Exactly.
You'd have a way for it to regenerate, though, while you're driving. So it keeps.
Yeah.
Is that guy trying to race me? I fear there's no cops around.
Yeah.
I love how the water comes up. I literally feel like we're like
got a jet boat.
Warp speed.
The sound is great too.
That's the sport sound.
That's great. I love it.
I love this car.
You sure do. And you should. It's a beautiful car.
I wanted white with red. I'm glad I went with the Brooklyn gray.
What else we got here?
That's it.
That's
Last one was Trump talks out of his puckered ass. Ray, we're in Bremerton. We're in front of Fred Meyer.
It could not be a worse day. This is like a textbook Pacific Northwest day. I'm glad I wore my raincoat.
It was not. It was nice when we left.
It sure was. But you know what? I have to say there are a lot more microclimates here than I thought. There are even microclimates on the island. It'll be raining in Winslow. I'll drive home. It'll be clear.
Yeah. Ray, I think we're going to drive past you and then turn around and come back.
There you go.
Just to see if some of the rain will slow down, and then we'll pull in.
So I'll bring us up to Old School and point out that it is getting harder and harder to find old cars. Wasn't that long ago that you could find fairly regularly used 20 to 30 old cars, and not that hard to find a 30 to 40-year-old car that would be kind of a fun car to tinker with, work on, or but it's becoming harder and harder to find a car from the 80s or the 70s now. And the reason why is people just don't want them as much as they used to anymore.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. Cars like that are just getting discarded. I spoke with a fellow the other day, Jake, you'll find this interesting. He's got a 1970 Corvette Coupe. It's a 4-speed with a 350 engine. It's a standard thing, nothing special. The car's been repainted. It's got a replacement engine. But it's in great shape. He's owned it since 1986. He's advertised it. He said, I've advertised this car for months, and nobody wants this car.
It's Dutch Brothers. There's Affordable Auto. We'll be there in a minute, Ray.
Oh, look at Affordable Auto.
There it is.
Look at, he's got that. It's quite a fleet of trucks there. Ray, do you say, oh, there are the cars. All right. I see the trucks. Well,
he's got a Lexus just like yours.
Yeah. Trucks do well. So he said he's having difficulty selling that car. And it's not the price, because I think he's being reasonable based on the condition. He's got every single receipt he's ever had for work done on the car. But he's absolutely right. When was the last time you saw a car like your Pontiac on the road?
I know.
They just don't exist anymore.
Is it worth more money now, do you think?
No.
Yeah, that's the problem. Nobody wants it.
No one wants it. They're being crushed, they're being dismantled, they're being recycled. And most of the technology on those cars, you just don't, the replacement parts for them, nobody builds them for them.
So when we do finally sell off the Pontiac. I think we discussed this before.
Yeah.
We'll do an episode where Tony,
Sell-off episode.
he's big on Bring a Trailer. Tony's the Raffi of Bring a Trailer. And we'll actually really put it on Bring a Trailer.
And there you go.
But we have to put it in a bunch more episodes.
Yes, it has to be then we sell it as the sitcom car. And I
Yeah.
can sell it as Tony on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
Oh my gracious. There you go. Not even just half the pedal.
Yeah.
Is impressive. That's wild. So yeah, it's getting harder to find old school cars. And sure, there's always going to be an interest in vintage Corvettes in the Stingray 63 to 67 category. Even the earlier fuel injected Corvettes. I think people will always want Z28 or a Cuda, but it's getting harder and harder to find buyers for, say, a regular Plymouth Barracuda or a Dodge Challenger. And I think a great deal of it is the fact that the technology and the use of that vehicle no longer makes sense.
So my question is,
Sure.
These guys all clean up on the side of the road. Are these volunteers or these community service?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, they look pretty motivated, so I'll say they're community service. The volunteers tend to walk a little slower.
All right.
Or the community service ones.
They're over there.
Yeah.
They look like criminals. So
What does a criminal look like?
those guys. All right, we're gonna turn around somewhere. I guess up there.
Criminals criminals can look like your president apparently now. So.
Well, he's a convicted felon.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So if I'm not mistaken, Ray, I don't know if you know the area as well to answer my question. I know that's the old gym from the old high school, the old East Bremerton High School.
Ah, okay.
And I think the old high school used to be on this site.
There you go.
Because there used to be 2 Bremerton high schools.
Uh-huh. There's Jake's comment here.
Especially old Corvettes.
Yeah. So that's the other thing that with a car that used to get 15 miles to the gallon.
Yeah. Like the Pontiac.
Yes. When gas was
19 cents.
well, let's just say 59 or 60 cents a gallon. It was the equivalent of having a car that could go 50 miles per gallon because your dollar per mile expense
Yes.
made more sense. So you didn't think so much about it. I remember going to fill my car up, my Mustang, and $5 would fill it up. And so I could drive for a week on $5 of gas.
See, look what I said. Perfect. Look how nice it is up ahead.
Yeah, that is nice.
We're driving into nice weather now.
There
All right,
you go. Wow, and it's 10:45 already.
I know.
So we're coming close to
Pull into
the
the garage, you get here, pop the hood, full walk around.
full walk around.
Yeah, we had to do a walk around last time.
Oh, that's right. Hey, we got to show under the hood.
I don't understand this under the hood. Why I don't have a frunk?
It's because it is manufactured to be platform specific for the 4 Series, and so it can take an engine up in the front there, and so there's no tub that they can make to wrap in and.
I mean, I honestly though, I never used my frunk.
That's what
I had one in the Tesla. I had one in the Polestar. The Kia did not have it, and the Nissan Leaf does not have it. They have like what looks like an engine in there.
Yeah.
The electric motor is right up front, and all the cooling systems.
Yeah.
Sizzler's gone. That'd make a good comedy club.
Yeah, that would. Sizzler. Wow. Boy, that's talking about something from the 80s.
I'm surprised the mattress store hasn't been bought out by
the pillow guy.
No, the pillow. That's what's sad is Tesla's becoming the pillow guy.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
I'm surprised he's not in the cabinet.
Cars Auto Repair. Oh, we'll have to look at that. There you go. Boy, there's a lot of vehicles here. Now there's a nice 90s truck. You don't see that often.
Look at Ray. He's like,
Is he waiting to greet us?
he literally has the garage open for us.
Oh, look at that. Well, we can pull in out of the rain. Wow, this is high service.
Look at these bumps.
This.
Holy crap.
Look
The
at
whole
this.
garage. I feel like I'm doing a YouTube video for
All right.
All right, well, here we are.
This
I
is
will
very
put in
swanky.
park, hit stop. We'll get our good friend Ray. Oh,
All right.
Pardon the hand.
There we go.
Hello, Ray. I
It's
hope
so
not.
Quiet.
All right, so here we are.
We're going to convert you to.
It's my favorite color.
Isn't this fantastic? I think it's a great
We're
looking
in
car.
a car dealership detail center. Right? Would you call this a detail center?
center.
Detail repair. If there's problems with it, they go across the street to Cars Auto Repair.
There you go.
But every car, before it goes out to the customer, goes in here. They have the guys go through it,
Yeah.
and that's it. I drove the white truck here today, but I bought the burgundy. What is this? A Chevy?
The one out there on the.
This one here?
Yeah.
A bad purchase.
Uh-oh.
An Equinox?
Dry start, rattle, timing issue.
Yeah.
Just don't want to throw the money at it. So it runs great, beautiful, but these Equinox, they're not good cars.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you for letting us get out of the rain.
Yeah.
So here's the car. We didn't do a good walk around last week.
Oh, excuse me. I'm the microphone.
Did you just burp?
I did. I
Oh.
apologize.
Uh-oh, is he going to pull in here?
That's our detailer.
Oh,
Tell him to get started on it.
You won't know. Yeah.
so the front end is great because the grill is fake.
Yeah. But it looks good.
What do you mean, plastic?
Yeah,
Well, there's no actual
There's
grill.
there's no reason to cool
The camera's
anything.
here. The LiDAR thing is there, whatever it's called, for the detecting things in front of you. The wheels, it does have the red M calipers.
Yeah. And it's got the M Sport rocker panels.
Yep.
And the M Sport diffuser in the rear.
Now in the back here, it does not have the foot control.
Ah.
My other car did have that,
So you have to do it manually. But
but it is a hatchback.
yeah. And what's interesting about that is I think the standard 4 sedan
Has
you
a
can
trunk.
see, has
Yes.
a trunk. So this is a single. So they must have made this tool out of 2 sections so they can shut the glass line off and make the trunk line, which is why it has this body detail.
Right.
Which is
so the
kind of
normal
odd.
one, the trunk would be coming
Right.
across here.
And then you get trunk storage that goes underneath. Probably, although I don't know this for sure, you might even have a little bit more back seat room in the.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
Because this is pretty tight back
It's
here.
very tight.
That's almost a non-usable back seat unless you've got maybe up to an 11-year-old kid, because
Yeah.
then their thin legs can fit in there. But I don't think an adult person can sit there if you've got the seat that far
Now,
back.
it did come with all-weather floor mats, which I have not installed, but after today, I think we'll throw those in.
Very nice. Maybe we can have the detailer do that.
No, we're not. I got the cable if I want to plug in elsewhere.
Yeah.
You can plug into your plugs right here while we're here. This is what's cool with the plug is it's got AC, which is your regular household one, and then you can do the DC, which is the big one at
So it's
Electrify America.
AC/DC done dirt cheap.
Oh, wow. Wow. Are you back in black? Okay.
Yes.
And then if we go into the car, it does have, of course, the red leather seats. So not leather, but they're the.
Oh, they're not leather.
This is not leather. This is their Sport Tech or something. I forget what they call it.
Look, it certainly
It
looks
feels
and
like
feels very nice.
Most of these do not have leather. Most BMWs are this
Yeah.
leather.
And open the hood because that's really it does.
It
I
does.
thought it was leather for sure. At least the seats I thought were leather.
And here we go with the hood.
Are you getting one, Raffi?
I really like this car. It's really very, very handsome. It's a nice
Handsome.
design.
Handsome.
Yeah, it is.
All right, here we go. We're going
All
to
right.
open. Just pull it up. Look at this.
There's the engine. Isn't that wild? They've got everything here covered up.
So what's under that?
I can't pull it.
We can't get the now,
Like that
you
lifts
can
up
get,
because there's stuff to do.
right.
What is that? That's coolant.
Yeah, but I think it looks to me like there's
It says
there's
the
some
dealer.
kind of subframe structure that goes through here, but this is where they would put the engine in the standard 4.
Yeah.
The so that makes sense because they molded everything in this car to work for electric and for the gas burning one.
You got
It's the same chassis.
Yeah.
Same platform. Yeah, and they don't.
and then you got the washer coolant there. The 12-volt batteries there.
How much is one of these gasoline? Is it just a little less?
No, it's probably $40,000 car, whereas this is 71.
Yeah,
But with all the rebates.
But you get all the rebates. Yeah.
Oh. And I think your stone chip is, like I said, somewhere up here.
I heard that. Sorry about
Yeah,
I
that
know,
was.
I dropped an F-bomb.
that.
Sorry.
I know you did. I caught it live.
Sorry,
I
Mom.
don't see anything though.
No, if you can't feel it, it might be
see it,
okay.
but I think it might be. I tell you what, that was a good hard hit. But the glass must be.
There we go. Got Raffi working
You
on
have
the car.
coverage for that, right?
Of course.
It gave me a reminded me of the back window of the.
Oh yeah,
Is that it?
I think it may be. But you really got to look for it.
Yeah, I mean, I can go into Safe Light and they'll put a little gel in there. And,
I don't know if there's anything that.
I don't think you can. They
well, maybe
it's
we
really faint.
maybe we missed it.
So what is going to happen at you project at the end of the lease? Are you going to buy it back?
No,
or
no, never buy
what do
it.
you think
I'll get the
value-
next one.
What will the value be on this?
When that, well, right now the 22s
Okay.
is when the first year of this. So those are 3 years old. So those
Yeah.
will be coming off lease. So we'll see.
You predict 30,000,
Yeah, they'll probably be in the 30s.
so about half.
Yeah,
Which seems about right. That's
56.
typical for,
I think 56 is what they rated it
Yeah.
at for the lease.
But think about it. I mean, to get all this car for 30
56%.
grand, and what is it going to have? Is it going to have 30,000 miles on it by then?
It'll have 36 when I'm done.
I think
Guys,
that's
How
that's
long do you think this will be trouble free? 150,000 miles.
well. There's nothing to go wrong
There's
with
nothing
it.
to go wrong. There's 20 moving parts on
It's
this.
basically just brakes and tires for replacement, and those are
And the brakes, if you use the brake mode, as you pull your foot off the gas or the accelerator, it automatically slows the car down. But it's not using the brakes; it's using the motor to slow it down.
But what about with the used Beamers? We try not to buy them because
Yeah.
it's the
No, don't.
electrical components.
Yeah,
You
the
think
software.
That's going to be problems.
I think it potentially could be, but think about it. How old is the cell phone in your pocket? It's probably 5 years old.
Yeah.
So by the time there's nothing wrong with the software in your cell phone.
No.
And even though the software in a car like this is a little bit more complicated, it's not that much more complicated than what the cell phone does.
Mhm.
The consumables on this car are going to be the brakes and the tires. There's nothing suspension wise that is going to need to be done within probably 75, 80,000 miles. So I think a car like this is going to be, other than brakes and tires, it's going to be pretty much a value-based proposition up to 75,000 miles.
I've
And
never done a lease.
leasing is great because it's just you're in and out.
So
You're
at
making
the
a
end
payment
of the
anyway.
3 years, if you're under the miles, they'll come to you and say 35,000. Is that what they'll?
No. The number's already set in the lease.
Oh.
That's because a lease is basically you take the sticker price, you take the residual, and then that's your buyout.
So what's your buyout?
It's 56% of 71,000.
56 of 71, you get to, it's
About
like
40,000.
41.
So like
42.
41, that's set.
So you wouldn't do it. 'cause
So
you
I would say
buy
no,
Yeah.
and I turn it in.
Yeah, because you could get a new one.
I'll just get a new one for the same payment.
price.
They
Yeah.
won't
and get-
negotiate with you.
No, they typically never
So
negotiate.
if you loved your car, you would wait to watch it maybe.
I could
where
then buy it
it's
in the
gonna
auction,
be
but why would I
sold.
do that?
You could return it and then see it go on the lot, and then you could make a deal on it.
On a BMW
Yeah.
lot somewhere.
Yeah.
Or I
but-
could go to the auction and probably
But
buy
there's
it.
so many of them
But I
that
wouldn't
you
do
can you could
that.
have
I would want the new one.
Yeah.
Like my cell phone, I've got an iPhone 14.
Mhm.
When the 17, or what's
Exactly.
on now? The 15 or the 16? 16's out now.
Yeah.
I usually go every 2 years. I waited. So when the 70 comes out, I'm just going to get the new one.
I'm used to, if I keep a car for so long and I keep it really nice.
Yeah.
I can't imagine giving it back. That's just the only thing I have. I haven't done a lease, so I'm not.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, here's the other nice thing. Since the pandemic, this is my 5th car in 5 years.
Okay. So yeah. Okay.
And 3 of them were leases.
If you want a new car, this is what I tell people. They ask, should I lease? Should I be? Is if you want a new car and you're comfortable with the monthly payments,
Yeah.
instead of giving the cash and forgetting about it, that's a great way to go. I like to just pay my money and get out.
Right. Cash.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Believe me, I'm not doing the smartest thing.
Well,
The smartest thing is what Raffi does.
Yeah.
You buy a car, you pay cash, you drive it till it won't run anymore.
that's it. Exactly.
And your overall cost per month is way, way lower.
Yeah.
And you
I'm an
drive a
idiot.
Lexus, right?
I drive a Lexus. I drive a
But they keep
Honda Accord.
running.
They get just.
He's
it's
got a
gonna go
Honda
forever.
Accord hybrid with what, 265,000
Yeah.
miles on it?
Yeah.
So he doesn't get rid
So
of
it just and they're that way I'm saving my money for ridiculous cars like this Avanti.
Right. He also has other little collector cars. Now, I thought of you when I was, you have your Subaru you just got with all those crazy miles.
Oh, I'm happy you're watching.
Oh, yeah. I watch your
My
TikToks.
Okay.
But I was in a cab coming back from the airport the other night, and the Prius, 375,000 miles
Yeah.
on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the Priuses go forever.
Yeah. The
It's a cab.
Volvo has the 250, 300, 350, all the way up to 500,000 mile club. And it's not like there are 5 or 6 people in it.
Right. Well, there's the million miler
Yeah.
too. There's
And you
couple
get
of them.
a moose sticker for every level that so you can put on your car.
Well, Dan, I've been wanting to get a Tesla, but I've held off.
Don't.
I lost interest. But they just announced next year or late this year.
Yeah.
Under
The
30,000.
Q. I know.
I don't know what is it?
They've been talking about that for years. They're
Oh,
never going to
okay.
come out with
It's not going to come out.
I
it.
just
They
searched
can't.
grand,
No
I
one's
would
buying
do
their
it.
cars.
There isn't going to be a
for under
30.
30,000, I think that would.
No, that's how much the 3 is right now. The 3
Yeah.
with the rebates you can get in the high
I
30s,
look at
mid
the
30s.
rebate. They include the 7,500. You save on gas, and when you start.
Right, you can't do that.
Yeah, I know.
That's it's just
You're
Here's-
better off buying a used hybrid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A used hybrid or even a used electric car, you're going to spend less. And if environmental concerns are part of your decision making, this vehicle has already been made. So all the resources that went into building this car have been expended.
So someone's going to get it.
So you buy this after it's had some years, and you're not contributing to further resource depletion when you buy a used vehicle.
So you'd say, because I see them at the auction, a 2021 or 22 Tesla for 19 grand.
Any used
that's what
electric
they're
car,
going.
regardless of brand, any used electric car, there's only really 2 or 3 things you need to be concerned with. And that is, first off, if you're going to buy any electric car, make sure you get the software checked. So spend the money to get a software check. They're usually $300. You take it to the dealer and they'll do a complete software check. They can see.
Well, here's the thing with Tesla you need to know though. If you're not an original owner, they
Right.
treat you like shit. The service is horrible.
So when I have a problem, what do I do?
Well, you have to go there,
Right.
or there's independent places that'll do it. But if it's a Tesla specific thing, you're going to wait. You're not going to be given priority.
And independent of your politics, I don't recommend a used Tesla, generally speaking,
Oh.
because there's so many used electric cars out on the market now by lots of different, very, very capable
I would do a Polestar.
manufacturers.
You get those
A
for
Polestar
22,
would be a great one. But
17,000
in a
miles.
couple
one went
years,
for 22
these will be
grand.
great value cars.
Yeah.
Um,
The Teslas, I guess you meant, they're going for the same as an Accord.
Yeah.
Or like a 2021
Yeah.
or a Civic. I'm going, well, gosh, might as well go electric then
Yeah.
because the prices are so cheap. But customer service, you can drop a car off and you still pay them normally on a Tesla, right?
Right.
Even though you said they don't need anything.
But there are
Right.
times where they might say, "Oh, it's 6 months out."
And for these, I can't go to Discount Tire where I always buy my tires and get normal cheap tires.
You can get normal cheap tires.
Yeah,
you just shouldn't because
they're-
these have a big foam pad,
because they're heavy. The car's heavy.
Yeah.
yeah.
and also for sound.
Okay.
It makes because the road noise from a regular tire is much louder.
The Costco Michelin's, is that where you would go then?
They make EV tires. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, they do. Okay.
are these? What are these?
You don't got to go to a special place for the.
No, you just want to get EV.
You just
They're,
wanna get
they're
And
so
again,
common now.
Over time, you'll see that the price comes down as they become more common and they're able to supply more volume.
Mhm.
So they'll become it wouldn't surprise me if Costco has not these tires, but a similar EV-based
Yeah.
tire already.
It's a thick foam pad, kind of like you see, and not acoustic, kind of like acoustic foam.
Mhm.
And it's just a big, thick pad that goes right on the inside of the tire.
It's insulation.
Yeah.
Sound
Because you're
insulation.
never going back.
I was going to go plug-in hybrid, but I couldn't find what I liked.
Yeah.
And the $7,500.
Yeah.
When you get that on the lease,
Yeah.
it's just like free money.
You're not going back. You're not going
Oh,
forward.
yeah.
And I'm right there.
My
ready.
my wife wants an electric car, so we're looking for an electric car.
This could be the one.
But-
I know a guy.
You know a guy?
You know, I have one problem with getting a new car. You guys would never guess.
What's that?
Every day we take the dog out to
Ah,
the dog park,
yeah.
and the dog.
I
I
know.
put her in the old
Yeah.
Lexus,
Yeah.
and then I don't have to. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of my issue is I have not put my dog in here yet, but she
You know
likes
what?
to look out the back
Any
window.
new car.
Well, I can introduce you. One of my buddies, he's a car guy, and he loves dogs. He loves his dog.
Mhm.
But I helped him design and make a thing that it's only for him. It's called the doggy bag. And it's a big, thick canvas bag. And he trained the dog to get in the bag. And he gets in the bag and he zips it, or he doesn't zip it, but he cinches it up around his neck. So his neck is out, his whole body and his legs. He's not a big dog. He's about this big. So and then he puts it in the car. So there's the only dirt and hair or fur is in the bag. And so when
I
he
want you to
gets,
show me.
he
I mean,
gets-
look at
Let's
this. So
pack that.
this is kind of cool. You've got all these floor mats.
yeah,
This
floor
is
mats
basically
and-
this is what's inside the tire. Something like this, just that kind of foam, just wrapped around the inside.
Look, we got wheel wraps, we got wheel covers, we got sunshades, we got everything.
You guys
This
know
is
what
like-
those are?
These are wheel covers.
Those are the ones that fly off. You
Yeah.
know, those plastic things.
They're highway blades.
You sell one, the customer comes back. Hey, where is it?
With the wheel, steering wheel covers.
Here you go. Here you go. Affordable.
Oh, I forgot to bring. I have my DR Motors. I was going to bring you.
There you go.
And they need supplies.
Yeah. Well, are we at 11 o'clock?
We are. We're going to go get some coffee.
dial out, get some coffee.
These are the best. I love those. I have a package of those. all
Those
the
are
time.
great. Microfiber.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We had fun today.
Yes, we
Thanks for
did.
coming.
Great to be here. Come visit Ray at Affordable Used Cars
wait.
in Bremerton.
And Dan, you guys were wondering what are the restrictions?
Yes. What are the
I have to be here.
Oh,
I
that's
need
the
that.
restriction.
The
That's
restriction.
it. If I'm not here,
All right. We're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. We'll see
Oh,
you next
Tuesday
week.
night comedy show at
Oh, yeah.
Rolling Bay Hall.
That'll be
Raffi
fun.
might be premiering
I
something.
might premiere. We'll see.
We don't know. Only $5. Go to my website for more information, danrosenberg.com. All right.